amazing. All right, so we are going to start with our online gals who are from Jackie Down. I mean, I think you guys do some in person too, but they are amazing online, so they're going to give us our tips for online. But Brittany, I want to start with you because we had a cool conversation about how you, it's important for you to tell a story, but it's also important for you to help other people find the story that they're going to tell online. Can you talk about a little bit of that, your mindset, how you help people do that? Because it actually goes through, everything we're going to talk about today.
So first of all, if you have not read Building a Story Brand, put that on your list. Pam Souter actually recommended that on a Zoom that Hannah and I had with her, and it is just phenomenal and a game changer. But basically what I have just pretty much always done, from the beginning is just shared all the parts of my story. So sometimes I'm going to share it from different angles. Sometimes I'm going to tell it in different ways. Sometimes I'm going to use something that happened that day to kind of be the basis of my story. But telling your story is just so huge, and telling it in a way where your audience can quickly identify with it. And then you're going to show them the solution and show them how they fit into it and how that could be their reality. And so I do this with products, and I do this with the opportunity. I'll start with the opportunity because I feel like that's something I've been doing longer. Actually, doing it with products is something I recently got better at from reading Building Your Story Brand. But with the opportunity, it's something I pretty much have done from day one. I just literally tell my because of it works in every single way that you can think of. And I give people a strong call to action at the end of the post to, text me or message me opportunity. And then that way they don't have to think about what to say to me. They can just, if my post tugged at their heartstrings, they've got a simple, thing that they can do. We can go from there. But one thing I told Kim I really wanted to share, because the number one question I get asked anytime I, speak on this at an event is people say, well, I just started, or I just went Ruby or whatever. I don't have a story to tell. I haven't made 6 figures with this company. And so I just wanted to give a quick little example. I always like to do this because I feel like it can just be a game changer if you can just get your wheels turning this direction. But let's say you just started and you've been watching someone on social media for a while, you just pulled the trigger, you just signed with them. Just start telling your story like this and develop it from here. Say, for months and months, I watched a girl on social media rapidly change her life with a business she worked off her smartphone. I always wondered if I could do it too, always let fear get in the way, but finally one day I had enough and I reached out. And now here I am on my own journey, changing my life, and I'm just so excited. If you've been praying for a solution for your life too, consider maybe you're seeing this post for a reason. Message me or text opportunity too, and I would love to talk to you. Easy peasy. You didn't claim that you had made 6 figures with this company. You didn't claim that you'd retired your husband, but what you just put out there was a story of hope. You just gave someone something to hang on to that they're like, okay, maybe I could do this too. And just keep doing that over and over. And the more you do it, you're gonna get better at it. You can start coming at angles from the grocery store. Used to, I cringe going in the grocery store, but now because I'm working off my smartphone, I have that little bit of extra breathing room. If you've been praying for a way, to get through just the day-to-day expenses, message me, I'd love to talk to you. So you see what I'm saying? You can get so creative with this, and the little things are what people are gonna relate to. Most people don't believe that, we earn the income that we make, but they're gonna hang on to, something like that you're sharing. So that's number one, and I'm gonna wrap up number 2 real quick so I don't take all the talking time. But with products, I wanted to share this because this has been a game changer for me the last several months since I read that book. Telling your story with the products is so huge. I used to just be really, my thing was just throwing a before and after picture up there and just, sharing the results. But now what I love to do is when I take a picture of my own coffee, I'll say, life as a mom of 5 is so busy. And if you're busy too, no matter whether you have a lot of kids like me or maybe you work full time, that, finding time to go to the gym, finding time to juice and meal prep can be so exhausting. What I love is setting myself up for success with something simple and seamless like this fat burning coffee. I can drink it every day. It gives me, and I go into the benefits. So see what I did? I started in the beginning by really relating with how busy everyone is and how all those other things they're seeing people do, they feel like they can't measure up to. And then I'm giving them the solution. So whatever products you love, just get to thinking one night, okay, how can I really relate with my audience about them and, present the product to them that way.
Okay, I have to give credit. So this is amazing, and we do something similar on the team, and the reason I want to say it is because Christy DeJesus, you're the one that taught us how to do this. You called it dripping way back in the day, and you taught us how to drip. And so this is what we do, and Mike Patillo calls it's about the pull. You have to pull people into your adventure and what you're doing. So that was amazing. So wasn't that good?
So good.
Oh my gosh, I feel like my life was just changed. That was so good. Okay, awesome. Thank you, Brittany. All right, building online, you do a combo of both, or do you, yeah, I thought you did, a combo of both. Because can you talk about how you build both? Because I think you do it equally. Because some people, we talked about, some people do either all Facebook or all Instagram. So maybe give us a little bit how you do that.
So I started out just doing mostly Facebook. I was really intimidated by Instagram. I hadn't really gotten into that world yet. And I that's where all my customers were coming from, was Facebook. And my distributors were coming from Facebook. And one day it just dawned on me, why am I not copying and pasting everything from Facebook to Instagram? It's literally the same thing. So I started doing that. Anything I was putting on Facebook, I was basically just copying and pasting right over to Instagram, and boom, I started seeing customers come from Instagram out of nowhere. So to me, I just look at it as exactly the same. I post that. I do stories on Facebook and Instagram. I don't know if you want me to go into stories. I don't know if you guys know, but there's an option on Instagram where when you share your story or make a story on there, you can have it auto share to Facebook. So I do my stories on there, and I really use my Facebook and Instagram stories to reach out to people who are viewing them. So we all know, we'll do posts all the time and feel like, oh my gosh, is anybody seeing this post? Where's all the likes? Brittany liked it because she enrolled me, and my parents liked it, and my husband liked it, It's where's the people? But what I love about stories is that you can look and see who all has viewed your story, and I'm checking that all throughout the day. I don't know why, I'm kind of obsessed with it. I'm like, oh, who saw it this time? So what I do is, if I'm doing a product story, a lot of times I'll do three stories or so for one product. So I'll talk about the product, I'll show a before and after, and then maybe I'll put a poll on the last picture, who's interested in trying this? And it's always 2 versions of yes. It's never a no, because you always have those people that are like, ugh, no, I don't want to make money. I hate coffee, or whatever, So I'm not going to give you an option to do that. I'm going to give you both yes answers. So basically what I do with that is I go to that very last story. So if I have 3 lined up back to back, I'll go to that very last story and see who viewed all 3 of these stories. Because I know, some people might see the first one and then they're like, peace out. Mm-hmm. But the people that get to the 3rd one, that's your gold mine right there. So I'll go to that 3rd picture, see who viewed those stories, and I'm messaging those people, but I'm really intentional about interacting with them first. I go to their page, I like and comment on their stuff, so that by the time I end up in their inbox, they're not thinking, oh my gosh, this spammy girl, yada yada. They truly feel like I've made a connection with them because I'm saying something personal to them, and I have a really short, sweet, personal message that I send to them, and they're like, oh my gosh, thank you. That's such a nice compliment, or something like that. But I know that they're seeing my stuff. I know they're seeing my products. I know they're seeing my story in the business because they got to that 3rd one. So that's probably my biggest tip for doing Facebook and Instagram.
I love it. And if you guys, I don't know if you know this, but if you're building online and you're not using Instagram stories or Facebook stories or both, then you're really missing out on a gold mine. There is no algorithm with the stories. Did you know that? There's no algorithm like there is in newsfeed on both, the feed on Instagram, the feed on Facebook. There is no algorithm in the stories. There will be one day. And because you're using it now that it's still a newer thing, you'll be ranked higher. Anytime that you use Facebook or Instagram's newest thing that they put out, more people will see you. You will get seen more. So if you're building online, it's worth the time it takes to learn how to do, if you don't know how to do a poll and do both yes answers, I would learn how to do, if you're building online, I would learn how to do that. And then I saw a statistic that Instagram stories, Facebook stories are growing 1,000 times more faster than newsfeed itself. So again, this is really important. Hannah, do you build mostly through stories, or what are some things that are, I know that you still do both, and you're mostly Facebook, right? So tell me about that. Are you using stories? What are you seeing that's working for you? And then also, how do you teach your team? What are you telling your team to do right now?
Awesome. Yeah. So like Kim said, I mainly build my business through Facebook. I do use Instagram and, because it's basically just copy and pasting. But I find that 99.99% of my people come through Facebook, and it's because that's where I focus. So you're always going to find the most success on where you're hanging out the most and what you're focused in, what you're confident in. But I have a daily 6 list for myself every single day, and these are the things that I know I have to get done. And I like to think of it, it ties into that self-discipline that you guys just heard. Some days I don't feel like doing these things, but I know that I need to do these things to grow every single day. And I treat that like as if I was to punch into a 9 to 5, I would get fired if I didn't do these things every single day. So even if it's like 2 a.m. and I haven't done one of the things on the list, I make sure that that thing gets done. And basically all this list is 6 simple activities that I do through Facebook and Instagram. So I make sure I'm, number 1, posting. Making sure I'm presenting myself as a professional, but also sharing my story and about who I am and branding myself. And I know Jackie's gonna talk a little bit about that too. So I make sure that that's number 1. My page is looking good, it's appealing, and it's attractive to who's gonna be seeing it. The next thing I do is I add to my market. And I make sure that I'm adding new people every single day, because if I'm not adding new people to that, then I'm just gonna be like what we call fishing from the same pond. So I make sure every single day new people are seeing my posts in my, in my network. That's what we're doing. We're doing network marketing, so I make sure I'm networking. And then I'm also always reaching out, and I reach out using Host-a-Post. So if you guys don't know what Host-a-Post is, this will like blow up your business. And as soon as I started using it, I became somebody who was signing 1 to 4 customers a month to somebody who could sign 30 to 100. So Host-a-Post is huge. Make sure you're doing that, and that's how I like reach out and get into people's inboxes and making sure I'm opening the doors to my business every day, because just posting isn't going to do that for me. And then I'm also following up. What else do I do? Post my story, and there's one more that I'm missing. I think personal development is the last one that I have on that list, and that's vital as well, always feeding into your brain. And I just simply duplicate this to my team as well, and we do power hours, where these are just the 6 things that are on those power hours, and making sure that they're getting done. And if we're pushing for big ranks and big positions, we just go, okay, let's double the 6 list today. And that's all that is duplicating that every day and just making sure that you have the self-discipline to get those things done. And it might look slightly different for you versus how you're building, but you should have a list that you need to accomplish each and every day.
Good stuff. Here's why it's important to post and use the stories. We teach success principles on the team, and no matter how you build the business, these success principles are how you will grow your business and ultimately be successful. People have to like, know, and trust you for them to either buy your product or join your team. They have to like, know, and trust you. However way you grow your business, that is what your goal should be, whether that's online or in person. Online, that looks like when you do something to your story or you do a Host-a-Post, people then are going to go to your profile, whether that's on Instagram or Facebook, and they're going to check you out and see who you are. Do they like you? Can they get to know you quickly? And can they trust you? So that's why it's so important to do both. You're going to use stories or you're going to inbox somebody, make sure that your feed also matches, because they're going to go to that and see, does this line up? Do I know this person? No, I don't know her, but do I like her and can I trust her? So those are the success principles that we're talking about here. And Hannah, that just made me think of that, because you are so good about doing that, about showing who you are, telling your story, right? Everything they talked about, because that's what people are going to do. You've got to be authentic to who you are, and they have to like, know, and trust you to buy from you or join your team. All right, Jackie, let's talk about Instagram. I know that is your jam. You're blowing it up. So tell me, what is your theory behind that? What do you do on Instagram? What's working? What do you teach your team?
Okay, so Facebook and Instagram. A lot of the times I do post maybe the same actual post to both, but the photos might not be the same. So here's what I've kind of found out about Instagram. Instagram is like a little bit more, I feel like, less personal, because yes, you could do lives, but they're only in the stories for 24 hours, whereas someone can go to your Facebook and see your live, right? So I feel like Facebook, I can post pictures of me in my It Works gear. I can post whatever I want and people will like it. On Instagram, it's a lot more simple, and so all you have is that feed, right? And so you can see all the photos at one time. So I'm very specific. I actually decided I was gonna, I kind of was getting a little bit, not to be weird, but like bored almost with posting, right? Because I was like, okay, post the same thing. So I decided I love Disney. Disney's my thing. All my new girls are from Disney. So I was like, I'm just gonna decide I'm gonna post about Disney all the time. So if you go to my Instagram, it looks like I'm at Disney like 24/7. I'm not. I take photos when I'm there. But either that or I'm in Disney gear. I'm very committed. I'm Disney mugs, like everything is Disney. So when you go to my feed, it looks like I'm like a Disney blogger or something, I don't know. But my posts, and it's just to attract them to read my posts. That's all I want to do. I want to make a nice, bright photo that looks like something that someone would want to look at, and they read my post, and then they get to know me that way. And also in my stories. So I might post a picture of us here on my Facebook, like excited. I might post that in my stories instead of on my actual feed, right? Because it's so important. Stories are so important. So on my Instagram, it looks like I'm like excited and like happy all the time and like made up, but on my stories I have like no makeup, like I just talk to people like I'm a normal person. That is where they're getting to know you. So stories are so important. You'll see my son singing his ABCs, you'll see me with no makeup going to the gym, you'll see all that stuff. It's like I'm taking them through my journey on my stories, and that's how they get to know you, on your stories. What else? I feel like there was another important point that I had, but I can't remember what it was. My brand? I mean, that is my brand. Disney is my brand. So I only, so when I go to find people, I'm going to Disney hashtags, or I'm going to other pages that like, all they post about is Disney. So maybe your thing isn't Disney, okay? So I know it's my thing. But maybe your thing is working out. So maybe you're just gonna post you in like workout gear and tell people what you're doing with your workouts, because maybe you love working out. Or maybe, I know Courtney loves gardening. I just always go back to that. So maybe Courtney's gonna post like gardening tips. Like the more that you can give, all the podcasts I listen to, they say the more you can give, the more tips you can give. Unrelated to it works, honestly. Like people ask me about Disney tips all the time, and the more that I can give to them, the more that they're gonna like, know, and trust who I am, and they're gonna wanna be a part of what I'm doing. I don't even usually say the words "it works" in my posts. I usually just say my online business, and people all the time, it's like the curiosity of it, right? I never even say keto coffee. I'm just like, my fat burning coffee, mention it here and there, like all the time, and that's how people know what I'm doing. And they just wanna know like what I'm doing. The curiosity of it all makes them ask, so.
There was something I was going to say, and now my mind has gone blank when you were talking about that. It will come back to me. And maybe not. I'll just go to the... No, it was something about authenticity, and we were going to talk about, it was like, know, and trust you, but I don't remember now, so I guess we're just going to move on. Yeah, Jackie sent me a message one time. Thank you. That's what, okay, triggered it. Okay, so we went, thank you, and this goes along with that. We went through this period on the team where we were doing a huge push about this like, know, and trust you thing. And this is what I was gonna say. So she said, maybe Disney isn't your thing. Here's what we do on our team. And this is, I would say, has served us so well. Figure out who you are and what brings you joy. And that might take you a few minutes to figure out, because in this stage of life, a lot of you are very busy and you have lost who you are as a person. And we say, outside of being a parent, and outside of your spouse, and outside of your job, who are you? So you may have to go back a few years. What did you enjoy? And we say, what are 20 things that bring you joy? And sometimes, and we do this with our new people, and sometimes it takes them a while. And then the next thing that we do, and all this goes to how we post online, and then the next thing we do is Denise's dream book thing, where you do the 7 areas of your life, and then you evaluate, and we say, okay, what would it look like if your life was a 10 in all areas? And that's how we get them dreaming. And then we ask them to narrow down and say, pick 3 to 4 of those and be that to the best of your ability. Fly your Disney freak flag high. That's just what she said to me. I just decided I'm gonna fly my Disney freak flag high. And we build our business through those things. So Jackie expands her network through Disney all the time, right? Because up until this point, when you hit this business, your network is just who you've met in life. It's your things. It's the people you've met from the swim team in high school. It's because I love to swim. It's the people who, you're Disney too, that's a bad example. It's the people you've met through puppy rescue. It's the people you've met through church. It's the people you met serving it, or through music, Think about, how did you grow your network before you got into this business? That's what we want to do, because those people who you have things in common with will like, know, and trust you even faster. And you guys are nodding your heads because, we talk about this all the time. So, and however you do that, we also do this in person. This is how we grow in person. So let's switch. I want to go to building in person. Shelly, I'm going to go to you first, because Amanda and I are going to kind of tag team because we do it together. Shelly, let's talk about building in person, because, this is huge, guys. We are seeing a really big shift of the world wanting to connect in person again. The last few years, everything went online, everything. outside of it works. The world moved online, and we have seen such an increase in anxiety and disconnect and isolation, and people are craving in-person stuff again. So if this appeals to you, if you want to get together, if this is something, do I have to do this online? No, you don't. It works for some people, other things work for others, and Shelly is building in person and always has, right? I mean, it's not really changed. So there's a big shift coming back to people wanting to be together and in person. So I really want you to hear this. If that's your heart, you can do this in person too. So Shelly, let's hear how you do it in person, what's going on, what works, and what do you teach your team?
Okay, awesome. Well, you guys, so first of all, how many of you are like totally clouded over when they're talking all about what they're talking about? Anybody? A few. Okay. So, because I'm clouded over. I've never built online. Do I post online? Yep, I do. But I've never built online. I built to an Ambassador Diamond in 3 years with no online. And I've also built my husband to Presidential. And now I'm moving to my 2.0 and we are double diamond. So my advice is share it everywhere you go. Every single place. You gotta go to the grocery, you gotta go pick your kids up, you gotta go to parent-teacher conferences. Every single thing you do in your day, share it. And it's as simple as, oh my gosh, I love your shirt when I'm shopping, because now I just make myself go shopping. So, right? But I will give them a compliment, or I will be like, oh my gosh, are you a stay-at-home mom? And it's personable. I don't know how to build online. Do I want to learn? Yeah, but kind of not. I just want to find 5 of these people. So I'm just being real and honest. But I do thank you for suggest that book, because that is something that I might dig into. So it's just one of those things that blitzing is huge. If any of you don't know about blitzing, we've got blitz cards. Or you take a picture of one blitz card with your information on it and you give it to them. If you can't afford blitz cards at the beginning, you just take a picture and you send it to them via texting. Whenever I am out talking to people, I always connect them by phone, getting their phone number, or I get them on my Facebook and then I do a screenshot. So I know to go back to know who to follow up with. So, and I always try to seal the deal right there. Like sometimes it's so awkward, but I just do it because I know I have to do it. Just like these ladies build online because that's what they do. And they know that they need to spend, whether it's 5 hours, 10 hours, or they're doing the 6 list. I'm so glad you brought up that 6 list because it's huge. And if you're not utilizing 6 lists in your business, you need to be. It doesn't matter how you're building your business, you just need to do 6 things every single day for your business. And it's a proven fact that if you write less than 6, you're gonna maybe get 1 to 3. If you do write 6 things down, the chances are you're gonna hit 3 to 6. Because I'm sure there's days that you didn't complete your 6 list, right? We all are that way, but it's one of those things it's non-negotiable, like do your 6 list. So I'm gonna do a blitz, okay? So I'm shopping, and I just am gonna randomly say, I love your shirt. Where did you get that?
The Hip Work store.
Oh, great. Well, I don't know where that's at, but so I just, you look like you're a lot of fun, and I love your little one. Do you work from home?
I do.
You do? Awesome. Well, I have a phenomenal business that you can literally work from your phone or share it everywhere you go. And this is what I do. Would that be something you might be interested in?
Sure, yeah.
Awesome. Do you mind if I get your number, or can we be friends on Facebook?
Yeah, let's be Facebook.
It's that simple. And then I'm going to turn around and follow up. So you can have business cards, you can have blitz cards, you can have it in your phone where you're just texting them right away. And just keep it simple, you guys. But I literally, the only way I can go on vacation for a whole month, is my team gonna still be working? They are, but I can't show them that I'm taking a whole month off and not doing anything. I'm still working my business. I'm here to build an Orlando team too, So it's one of those things that I've got a nice little Disney team actually happening here in Orlando, so that's kind of fun. But it's just fun to connect with new people. And when I know that I'm at a pool or I'm on the beach or whatever, I'm working my business. So have fun with what you do. Cammie, she told me one of the biggest words of advice to me, as I said to her, Cammie, I don't know that I can do this anymore. And she goes, why? She goes, you're just not having fun with it. That's exactly what she said. And she goes, as soon as I started putting fun back into my business, it is everything. So I have to like what I'm doing. If I had to sit at a computer all day and work online, I would lose my mind. So that's just me. That's just me. So it kind of be both, do both. So thank you.
Awesome, Shelley. That was so cool. So when I got started in the business, it was Lori Conway Lori and Quentin who coined the term for us, living the blitz. And then Joel and Stephanie call it always be blitzing, ABB. And this is what Shelley's talking about. I mean, you're a distributor everywhere you go. And you, right, Cammie said, who do you share this with? Everybody, right? Who doesn't need or want, and even if you're making good money, who doesn't want an extra $500 a month? You know, everybody wants an extra $500 a month. So I love that.
Can I say one more thing?
Absolutely, Shelley. Hi.
But y'all see my coat? It's kind of ridiculous. But I'm here to tell you, I did not want this coat, but one of my distributors bought it for me, and this coat brings people to you. Whether you have an It Works shirt on or not, they're like, oh my gosh, and especially when you go in 2s and 3s, it's on Amazon. But when you're in 2s and 3s, they literally think you're celebrities and they come to you. And then you get to blitz them.
Sparkly shirt, key to $1 million. There it is. Do it. Off Amazon, she said.
I know.
Are you blue, Shelley? You're blue. Who's blue in the room? Woo! The blues! Yeah, this is, oh my gosh, I'm not blue, but I really love in-person stuff, so that's crazy. Maybe I do have more blue in me than I thought, right? I always tell Sonia that. Maybe I have more blue in me than I thought. Okay, Amanda and I are going to tell you more about building in person and how we transfer that to online. So I'm glad that Shelley talked about blitzing because I'm still a scaredy cat. I can do it. I've gotten better. I can start a conversation and then do the dripping and get them to ask me, and then I'm okay. But I love events. I love shows. And if you think about this, so I was in the hotel industry, but I didn't go through the sales department because they made you go out and talk to people, right? I can't do that. I'm a huge introvert. But I liked the front desk because people would come to me. I love talking to people if they initiate the contact. That's just how I function. So shows and events are the same thing for me. We just did the Home and Garden Show 2 weeks ago? No, 2 weeks? Okay. We did the Home and Garden Show. We had a booth there. And oh my gosh, our table was the most popular booth there because what we have, and I think that's the thing, you know, the wrap was the original Sizzle product, right? You just put up a picture and everybody wanted it. Can I tell you, I mean, half the website is sold out right now, right? We have so many Sizzle products. Everybody wants what we have. All you have to do is open your mouth and show people what it does. And then in addition to that, now everything is a sample. And people love to sample. They want to know what it tastes like. They want to know how it makes them feel. And the best thing, I'm more excited now, 7 years in, than I was on day one. Especially after doing that event where we sampled everything and our booth was the most popular booth in our, hang on, yeah, I run the show, so we're just gonna keep going, even though my timer went off. So we're just gonna keep going. We were the most popular booth at the entire show. People were coming up to us, what do you have? I had Simple Swaps up, and I'm gonna be getting me these banners because these are incredible. Thank you, corporate, for bringing those. Can we buy those soon?
They are the print-on-demand option.
Oh, the print-on-demand option. I can get them now. Yes, Cammie. Thank you. All right, I'm getting these. Because I had, well, very similar. We set up this table for you today because this is super similar to what we had. We had free samples. I got that sign from Home Goods, and it was like $7. That unicorn coffee mug was from Walgreens. You know, I don't spend a whole lot of money on this stuff, but look how cute. I got the Rae Dunn stuff because this girl got me started in Rae Dunn, and everybody knows it, and people would stop by just because it's Rae Dunn and it's popular, right? And everybody, we sold so many samples in person, guys. It's so much fun to be with people in person and let them see the product and try it and oh my gosh, yeah, this is really good coffee. I had no idea what it would taste like with butter and oil, and it's like, yeah, it's really good. And then we would sample our brand new, we did Hydrate, and we brought TFX out at one point, and people are like, what is this? And we're like, you can't get it for what, you get in line. You gotta get in line for this. Everybody, don't take my bottle, wait. That's the only bottle we have. So events are just so much fun because you interact, you meet the coolest people. They come to you mostly, and we're just, the blues definitely, but if you've never done anything in person, I would highly recommend at least trying 1 or 2 events or shows. everybody always says, how do you find them? How do you find shows and events? So the easiest way to do that is to Google city names, the year, and then put in the word exhibitor, exhibitor application, vendor, vendor application. And if you Google that, you'll find all kinds of stuff, because that's what you are. You're an exhibitor or a vendor at these different events. Because of our product category, you guys, you can be at anything. You can be at festivals, you can be at PTA events having a table. We did an event at a dance studio 2 weeks ago. You can have a raffle basket and different things. You could be at a 5K and talk about collagen for joint health. You can be literally anywhere that they'll let you set up a table, you can do it. And it's so much fun. So if you've never tried it, you want to get out of the house and see people face to face, oh my gosh, we just have such a ball. These girls are nodding their heads because they were with me. Like, it was a blast. We had so much fun. And then to move on to the hybrid. So the way that we do this, especially last weekend, is then I set up for us an online event, and we did our raffle on Facebook. So the way that this worked was we had lead sheets, but we didn't give them that option first. They are actually adding people on the spot on Facebook, on their personal Facebook, so then we could add them to the live raffle I did that following Tuesday night. Huge, because they were able to add them and then they immediately voice message, sent them a message, and then we sent them with a little piece of paper and saying, hey, this is to remind you it's on Tuesday, here's the link, but we wanted to get connected immediately. So that's kind of the idea behind hybrid, right? You meet them in person, they like, trust, and know you quick, can try all your stuff, and then you move online, and I'm gonna let Amanda talk more about that. So that's kind of how I do my hybrid. The goal is to get them online and then you post. All right, and then they watch you from there and see what you're doing, and you've already have that connection. So Amanda, how do you do your hybrid business? So I know you do you love to launch people in person. And then I want you to tell them about what we're doing here in Orlando, that, our whole idea of growing in homes. And our mission statement, we have two Bible verses, Acts 2:46 and 47, which talks about breaking bread in each other's homes, and then your numbers are multiplied. And then Amanda's is Esther 4:14, which is for such a time as this. And those two go together because our local team in person is exploding. So let's talk about what are we doing in person, launching people in person. Tell me about it.
So when I joined this, I was here in Orlando. Kim was all the way out in Louisville, Kentucky. And I'm very red, and I'm not really blue, but I like my people. I like to be around people. Like, I thrive when I'm sitting next to someone. And so she's like, well, there's this thing called Instagram. I did grow to an ambassador almost all the way on Instagram, but also in person at the same time, because Kim, we had these challenge groups, and she'd give us these challenges, and I'm like, well, shoot, I got to do what she's saying. Some days it'd be like, hey, go out and take a picture with 5 strangers while you're blitzing them, and come back and report to this challenge group. She made me do this stuff, so I'm like, well, oh, okay. Oh, hey, so I'm so shy. This is what I would do. I'm so shy, and my leader challenged me. I wouldn't say leader, that sounds weird. I've been challenged to meet 5 people today and give out 5 of these coupons, and I am just so shy. Do you mind helping me out? That's what I would say. And then in my back of my mind, I'm like, I'm not really shy, and but people want to be helpful. And you would say, of course, sure, cheese, that's what we would do. And by then we're like, oh, well, what coupon is this for? So anyway, my first goal was I wanted to build a local team because Kim wasn't here. Now she is, which is exciting. But I had no one. So I threw together this little launch party because she said I had to have one. Thank goodness Courtney did come and sat on the floor, even though she said she wasn't going to buy anything. And so to me, it was so important because I kept hearing people like Melody and Pam say, you got to drive. Like Pam and Melody would drive like 5 to 9 hours to go launch their new people. Social media really wasn't a thing yet. So that was kind of driven in my head. Like, if I sign a local person, it's my job as the enroller to go launch them. Like, that is what I signed up to do. Sonia, she's over there laughing. I'll never forget. I signed her. I was like 2 months in. You guys, I showed up at her house with this trunk of all this stuff, right? Because I thought I had to bring like an event setup to someone's house. So I come in with this whole thing and set up her whole table with a banner and all this stuff, and don't do that. So now, actually 2 weeks ago, Jamie's here somewhere all the way from, up in Jacksonville. I enrolled her and her brother, and I'm like, hey, I'm coming. So we got in the car. We literally had no free time. I have 3 kids. They had to go 3 different sitters. Birthday parties, whatnot. We drove 2 hours, and there was like a storm and all these things that we did it. We show up, people came, people want to be with people. Her friends came. Guess what? We signed customers before they walked out the door. So invest in your team. I don't care if you're brand new. So you show up together. Courtney, what did I say at my launch party? I'm like, look, y'all, I don't know if this stuff works. Your skin might fall off. I don't know. Kim said I had to do this. Literally, that's what I said. I had nothing. I had no samples. My mom was the first rep. I'm like, Mom, if your skin falls off, where's your $20, $25? Because so sign local people, go launch them. It's a non-negotiable. And if people aren't local, then you launch them online and you Zoom in or you go Facebook Live within their event. So you are still kind of in person. So for me, I have kind of found, I'm busier now, and so it sounds crazy, but I would rather go do a party and take 2 hours of my time and sign 10 customers that come to one party than have to sit and send 300 messages. That's for me, that is what's working better for me right now, my season of life. We got Cub Scouts, we just got all these things, and I know I can check out for 2 hours, show up at your house, we're gonna sign up if someone comes to meet with you, even one person, it's a party, they're not leaving without signing up. Because they're obviously there to support you, and you have to go in with that mindset. Like, assume the sale. Okay, so are you gonna become a customer or a distributor today? Like that, there is no option C, right? So, did I answer your question?
Awesome. Totally agree. And then the other thing that we're doing, we'll wrap up with this. The other thing that we're doing is, so I truly believe, I mean, the company was started and we heard from Melody and Cammie and Shelly and all of the OG ambassadors. They started in family rooms, and that model of network marketing still works today. And so I had prayed and prayed and prayed for a local team. I tried super hard in Kentucky. I'd build it, it would crumble, and I'm like, God, you gave me this vision. What is happening? And it wasn't until I moved back to Florida that I was like, oh, this is where we were supposed to do it. This is where. So we got together in December, and I cast that vision, right? You gotta always cast the vision. You cast that vision and say, we're gonna meet, and we're gonna meet consistently, and we're gonna bring all the people into this, and we're using Amanda's house because it works. So we're meeting, and we're bringing people, and we're doing it consistently, and it keeps growing. More and more people keep coming, and we do the try it presentation, we do a sip and sample table, and we talk about, just like we're doing here today, but on a small scale, and we've outgrown Amanda's house in 2 months. And it's just exploding because people want to be together. And again, so that's kind of how you can do it in person, but as a hybrid, because Amanda did grow all the way to ambassador on Instagram, but she was also doing things, you did events, you did all kinds of stuff in person, you add them on your socials, and then they can watch from there. So that's kind of how you can do the hybrid, but also in person. So we are totally out of time for our panel, so we're gonna wrap up right there. But was that helpful? Does that help you guys? Again, the biggest thing I want you to understand is what we want you to have fun, build this business through what brings you joy, and whether that's online or in person, do that. Be more of who you are, and your business will continue to grow. So, great job, guys.